And we're live, I hope. I'm not even sure. The point is that, hello everyone, this is Alina. I have a podcast and I'm trying to do a new thing. So I'm just trying things out. Um, we're going to crochet today. But before doing that, I have to explain a bunch of stuff. So um, I'm going to do a challenge, but I'm very realistic about the challenge. It's called a square a day. So you crochet one granny square a day, which I would love to do that every day, but I know myself and I'm not gonna. Also, I don't know who does granny squares, but when do you ever just do one? So we'll see how it's gonna go. Even before that, I have to say that I wanted to go live directly from YouTube and I didn't like it. So then I had to go back to StreamYard, which, you know, it's probably stupid to mention this, but I don't have anything to hide. So that's where we are right now. Uh, so why do I want to do this crochet thing? Well, everything started with the fact that I personally wanted to crochet a blanket. But before that, like even before that, I started. So let me tell you a little bit about crocheting. Why do I crochet? I need to start from the. Okay, let me. I keep interrupting because I feel like I have to say. So number one, I am not a professional. I have never been a professional, and I'm not planning to be a professional. I do this as a hobby. I sometimes give gifts to family or friends. I think I've crocheted in the past, and I really like it. It feels good to me and to brain, basically. So I didn't like I didn't go too crazy into this hobby, even though some people would say I did. However, I'd been wanting to make a blanket for a long time, but I kept moving from one place to another. So I promised myself that I'm going to make this blanket after I finally putting roots somewhere. But then life hit, and I'm realizing that it's gonna probably take a while until I have, together with my husband, our own place. So might as well just do this goddamn blanket. You know what I mean? So this blanket, the whole idea of the blanket was that I want to have something comfy when we watch TV or play video games on the couch. However, I also don't want to pay insane amount of money on the yarn because you can really pile up. So that's why it took me 5 million years to commit to a yarn. I have made granny squares quite a lot in my life. This is an unfinished project. It's supposed to be like I made it because of this is supposed to represent Ukraine colors, and that's all I'm gonna say. But I didn't finish with adding the. I started, but I didn't like it how it was, and then I don't think I had enough of this yarn anymore. So anyway, that's technically a granny square. But making all sorts of other things from granny squares, I've realized that I do not like to change colors. It's so annoying, and I don't like it. That's why I decided on this. But let me tell you the story of this. I have still yet to make a podcast episode about my wedding, which was at a city hall in Brooklyn, and how it came about regarding the preparations for it. So that's still going to happen on the podcast. And when I say the podcast, I forgot to mention the name of the podcast is Traveling Inside Out. And obviously, you can find it on any podcast platform. And recently, you can also find it on YouTube. So, that being said, I crochet my own bride flowers, wedding flowers, as in the one that I was keeping. So they were supposed to be lavender, and they were looking fine. But I have this yarn left over, and this yarn that is left over, it's so annoying when you have something like this and I'm like, okay, what project am I gonna make with this? And so I included it in the idea of my blanket. So the idea of the blanket was that I'm gonna make a 1 square a day, and I know myself I'm not able to commit to doing this for many days in a row. So I'm realistically speaking, I'm gonna do, maybe I should just be more like this amount of maybe I could try to be more like I'm gonna do this amount of squares per week. And then if I do more in one day and less in another day, maybe it's more realistic. But I knew that I wanted to have wool. I knew that I wanted to have something soft, like to be a nice blanket. I knew that I wanted to have like a color that is degraded, so then it's bleeding into another one, because I don't want to change the colors like this. And also because I wanted to kind of have like a theme, like this would be more in the winter time, this would be more like springtime kind of thing, and then keep going throughout the weeks and months of the year, and then it's going to change. So I went to a shop, and it's very famous. I live in Brooklyn, so it's very famous in Brooklyn for people who have some. Oh no, oh, people are gonna hate me because these are not equal. I understand. I understand fixating on stuff. I get it. I get it. I'm doing my best over here. Okay, so I'm going to, yeah. So I went to a shop and I didn't find the wool that I wanted. It was either I didn't like it. Long story short, I didn't like it. So in the end, I remember that I still had this at home, and so I was like, what if I buy something that it's like basically the same? So I can use this one, and then I can use two more. And I decided to not buy more than two or three. So I two and I had one at home, but next time I'm gonna buy three in such a way that I won't have too much yarn, but I'm gonna have the projects. Now, the one thing that I have never done and I'm gonna have to start learning how to do when it comes to granny squares is to do the blocking, like the one in which you basically fix the square so that it's not all wrinkly and it stays flat and nice. So that's gonna be probably another thing that we can talk, or I can talk about on the next time I go live. Again, this is not part of anything. This is just me talking with technically not nobody, because right now I didn't make it fully public. So you're gonna probably be able to see this in like a rewatch. But with all of that being said, I'm gonna do a granny square, like a regular, very normal granny square. Again, I'm not a professional, so I'm not here to properly teach you. I'm even going to follow the instructions. I usually go on Pinterest. You can follow me on Pinterest if you want. It's the same name like my website, which is my name, Alina I. Brad. And I don't. I only like if you want to see my, but I don't have much that I'm uploading myself quite yet. I am following right now Sunflower Cottage Crochet.com. It's just a regular granny square, basically, which um, it is a little bit confusing because this is the image that they start with. However, within the tutorial, they are showing another color, and it's a bit confusing to my brain. But again, I've done many squares. They also have a YouTube tutorial that I'm gonna probably add in the description of this video if you want to go and give them a follow or whatever. I don't know this person. I have I just feel like it's fair for me to say that it's not my. I mean, everybody's following after somebody else. I'm imagining. I don't know how many people are actually creating their own model. Maybe there are. I just don't know. Okay, so that being said, I am now, because I do have all of the hooks, courtesy to my brother-in-law. I got me like a whole set of hooks. Um, I am following the number what it is. So if you see here, let me see if you can you see? No, there you go. There are some instructions for beginners. There are some instructions that you may or may not use. Um, so medium 4, it's basically of how thick the, the string is. And then it says what kind of crochet hook to use. And so this one has a 5.5, which I have it. And then there's a bunch of other stuff that I'm not following because I don't know. But it does say that if you use, I think, 14 single crochet, you will make on a 16 row, 14 single crochet would make 10 by 10 centimeter square. I am using American because that's how I learned. So I've learned how to crochet from the almighty internet. So I'm using the American way of doing it. But I didn't finish my idea. So I didn't find the wool that I wanted. However, this is recycled cotton, which was important for me to have some sort of more, a little bit more um, environmental friendly yarn for my blanket, our blanket. Took me a long time to understand the importance of starting from the middle because it's easy. Like I was, no, I can't find the thing in here. So I was always starting from the outside, and it took me a bit to understand that it's so much easier to just get the thing. So again, I'm not a professional. I don't have the aesthetics. I don't have, like, as I was saying, none of that. So I'm not doing this for the likes. I'm just basically doing this because I want to do this. And I thought that maybe some people who are just wanting to crochet at the same time, we can crochet together. Okay. So normally, in order to do a granny, like a granny square, you either start with a magic circle or another way. I'm gonna show you the other way. I haven't done a magic circle in a long while. I don't even know for a fact how to. Oh, maybe. I think I remember to do. Anyway, I'm gonna do the other way, which is the I've seen all sort of ways to do the fur slip knot basically, and that's my way. Again, I'm not a professional. I'm just a random person who just learned how to crochet. I've learned that if I'm holding yarn with a smaller finger, with a tiny finger over here, it's helping me on how to do things. So normally you yarn, you do 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I have to get used a little bit with this one because it's 5.5 millimeters or a 9, and it feels a bit big in my hand. The hook, not the hook, but like this, feels a bit. So then go all the way to the first loop, and then you just do a slip. There you go. And then you're going to crochet 3. There we go. 1, 2, 3, and this is gonna be my double crochet basically. Then let's follow the recipe. Okay, so it says wait, I was too far ahead. So after you make the thing, you so the chain 3 counts as a double crochet, and throughout the whole tutorial that's what it stands for. So now we need to do 2 double crochet, which is you do like this. I don't even have the vocabulary that well, to be completely honest with you. So just make sure. This is one of the mistakes that some people do. So you see how, okay, this is a poor video, I know. Again, I'm not a professional. So oh man, this is really bad. Oh wait, now I feel like an idiot. Anyway, so you need to make sure that you don't yarn through the loop that you just put your chains in. So you go inside. I've done this mistake many times, that I was hooking to this one instead of going into the middle. So you do a double crochet, which is this. I'm saying this forever and ever and ever and ever. I'm not here to teach you how to do it. I'm just here for hanging out, basically. But regardless, now what I'm noticing is that I need to make sure, because you see, look how long this is. So I'm already screwing it up a little. So one more time, we're gonna do 2 double crochet, 1 and 2. The very difficult thing is, I think, especially for people who want to do a project like this, that is like 1 crochet every day and then it's taking how much longer, it's gonna probably be difficult to keep the same, um, the same size for the square. So again, I just made 2 double crochet, and now technically we have 3, because remember, these 3 that we made were part of the double crochet. And now we're going to chain 2, and now we go back into the same in the same loop over here. So we do other 3 double crochet, because again we wanted to have 3 double crochet. So we have 3 double crochet, and then we're going to continue and do this until we have 4 3 double crochet with 2 chains in between. Does that make sense? Probably. I usually count 5 million times, because, and even after I count 5 million times, I still do so. I still find mistakes. I think if you don't unravel your thing and correct it uh, at least a few times in whatever project you're doing, are you even crocheting? Am I the only one who counts like 5 million times and at the end I'm like, oh, I think it's still wrong? Probably. Maybe that's why I'm not a professional, because I'm not doing it properly. Who knows? Anyway, now we'll do that, and then at the end we're gonna have our basically first row. I haven't decided how big my squares could be. So this time around, I'm just gonna do like a regular, like just a regular thing. Later on, I try to do some models on it, but for now, just a regular one to start, like to basically have the basics of what I'm going to do with the rest of the project. So while I don't know why I keep saying we. There's nobody else here. While I do this, I have to say that, so I live in Brooklyn, New York, and they had snow coming in, and it was so bad that they decided to, you know, send let children be at home, and it sucks for them that they cannot have snow day anymore. They have to go to school. They have to do it online, which, if it's one thing other than the obvious that came after the pandemic, is this. So then we almost finished here. So with this, we need to chain 2, and then we need to do a slip stitch in the next one over. And so now we have this. Normally, it would be the time when I would finish and then I would put a new, so now we have our first, when I would put the new color, but I don't like to do no more new colors. However, I don't even know how to make a green square, which I'm not changing the color every row. So now I have to read now from this, because I don't even remember. Yeah, so we're supposed to have four 3 double crochet and clusters, and 4 chain 2 spaces, which we do have it, right? All right. To work around round two, we're going to simply create four more corners, but they will be expanded by an extra cluster each one, which kind of makes sense, right? So now we need to chain one, return. The turning of the granny square is very important. I don't think I've always done it. It kind of keeps it a little bit more balanced than having a very sure front and back, I would say. So I have been doing that my previous to other projects, but sometimes you can easily see that I forget. So then I have like two rows that I forgot, and then I'm having it's not that easy. That one would say. I haven't officially received uh, um, not treatment. How is it called? The fact that I don't remember the word kind of mentioned like so. You already know what I want to say. I'm afraid. Um, um, Consultation from a doctor to actually give me the I can't find the word, but I am 19% sure that I have ADHD, which is bonkers because I for a long time I thought that I'm just depressed. But we can talk about that. Probably I'm going to talk about that in another podcast episode, which again is Traveling Inside Out or any podcast platform. And the podcast is once in 2 weeks, every like on a Monday. And this last yesterday, I published the podcast about finding out about a murder that happened on my block about living in home. Okay, chain one, turn your work. Single stitch to the chain two, single. What is SP? Wait, what is SP? I'm confused. What am I supposed to do here? Mm, well, abbreviations and does not have SP. So I don't know what SP is supposed to be. So did I look through this thing very carefully? No, I didn't. And I wish I would have watched exactly what she did on YouTube, maybe. Single stitch to the chain two SP right next to you. So I guess I'm just gonna single stitch this like this. Maybe, maybe. Chain three, one, two, three. Wait, am I supposed to? Oh, I see, I see, I see, I see, I see, I see. I'm supposed to do it in the cluster thingy. So single, there we go. Slip. Now we change three, and remember when we chain three, that means that is part of instead of the double crochet. Okay, three double crochet, to double crochet in this one and two, to double crochet, then two double crochet, change three, two double crochet in that chain two special will come skip to the next chain to okay, I see. Do not get chain one to get there. That's another mistake that I've done. So you normally I would do that, but that's not the point. You're supposed to come back to it. So you just go directly into it. So that means that you're just going to do the three. But the thing is that I've realized a bit late, like my last project, I've done like a pillow cover, and I realized a bit later in the project. So then I was like, now I have to do it for all of them because I can't have it like a little bit like that and then a little bit like that. Then we do two chains and then we go back into the same loop Oh, is it 2 chains? Yes, 2 chains. So I don't even know exactly why I'm reading from the thing, because I literally just finished a project last week, in which I've done so many um, squares like that. But yeah, you see, if I'm not paying attention, they are a little bit too large, and then the problem with that is that I'm not gonna have nice proper. Okay, so we don't chain, and then we just go for the corner. I think that um, this is a nice color to have, especially since it was just snowing outside. Kind of looks a little bit like how you would draw eyes on the, um, or like, when you want to paint or something like that. How snow looks like. But at least in my case, we had it on the bluish side. It wasn't always just white. Anyway, yeah. So I wanted to. I don't know that I finished this thought. Is the fact that I believe that having the colors change on me is gonna make it a bit more interesting, because no, no, none of them are gonna look the same. None of those are gonna look the same, which is also why I don't know that I want to change the design that much, since the color gonna be all over the place. Also, it's risky to just buy 2 or 3 crochet yarns. What if I'm not gonna find them? But it's a thing that I'm willing to risk, especially since I don't know exactly what I'm doing. So I don't want to buy that much yarn, and then where am I gonna have it? Where am I gonna keep it, and so on. The squares, I'm gonna try to find a way to block them and how to make. But first, I'm gonna make a few of them, and then I'm gonna see. Anyway, so this is where we are right now. As you can see, I'm not very good at it because these chains are not very nice. Maybe in the end, the recycled thing, it's not the best. Anyway, when we get to uh, so as you can see, it's like this, right? So now we got here, which means that we need to make 3 more double crochet, and then we can just basically continue. But I'm realizing I think I've done this wrong in the past when I've done. Have I done this? I think I've done it before. That was just to make with the same color. And now that I'm looking at it, I'm like, I think I've done it very wrong last time. And that means that I know now what I did wrong last time, because that's the most annoying part when you crochet something and it doesn't go your way, and you're like, yeah, but what did I do wrong? Anyway, this is where we are right now. It's not looking too bad, but the color is, I don't know if it's going to change quite soon, but we'll have to see. So for now, what we have. Um, and so now we continue. Um, okay. Okay, so now we will do the same, but this time around we're gonna work in these ones as well. So if I'm not mistaken, we're going to chain 1, turn the work again, single stitch into this thing. We're gonna chain 3, 1, 2, 3. So much easier when I have to change the one. So please, let's see how much easier it is. Anyway, so we do 2 double crochet. Uh-oh, the yarn is changing a little bit. It's so interesting because it just has a little bit of a whiter color, a little bit of a darker color, which is literally what I wanted and why I love it. Should I have done, wait, I just realized something. Should I have put a bit of music? can put the volume a bit more down. There we go. Can you still hear it? Kind of. Anyway, we don't chain anything, and we switch to this one, and then we do 3 in it. Okay, so I have to say something. I'm not sure. I'm a double guest choice now with this yarn. I was in that yarn shop, and I don't spend at least half an hour just to look and touch every yarn that I thought that I'm interested in. And then I was checking to see what is it from, what's the combination. I didn't want 100% acrylic. I'm very against that. And so I was like, okay, but cotton, it takes a lot of water to grow the cotton, like to do something with the cotton. And then there was like combination of the wool that was a bit more expensive, but I didn't like the colors that much. So it's like, it was like a whole thing. And I was there for like half an hour. And now that I'm crocheting, I'm like, it's not as smooth as one would. I don't know if it's the yarn per se, or if it's the hook. What makes crocheting smooth? Don't actually know. I'm not gonna lie. Or maybe it's a combination of both. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. So normally I don't necessarily pay attention to how long it's taking for me to do this, to do a square. And also I'm not very sure where I'm going to finish. So I don't know what a good time to stop, but we'll see. I am going, however, to yes, I haven't seen how long it's taking me, because usually I do this while I watch some TV or some stuff like that. And so now I'm actually curious to see how long it's taking me, even though I would say I keep interrupting myself because I have to talk and because I have to pay attention to. I mean, I always have to pay attention to what I'm doing, but yeah, we're getting there. I guess I just want to see. Okay, there we go. We're starting to change a bit of that now. So I guess that's what I was looking for, which is making me excited to see. Like, this is so, if I truly have, which again, I do think that I have ADHD, but this is such a good way of working with yarn. If you have the degradé one, you can, number one, you don't have to keep changing the color, which is annoying as fuck, at least in my case. And number two, you still get the excitement of a different color, so which means that it's not going to be too repetitive for you in such a way that you're going to get bored of this subject. Since, at least in my case, I'm curious to see what's the next color that is coming. Or especially since I got this from the middle, I don't truly know what's inside, right? So I'm tricking my brain as much as I can. Is that the way to go? Maybe not, but I don't know how I will to deal with my things. So yeah, it's kind of cool to see how this one is changing. So for whoever is interested, let me put the banner out. For whoever is interested in listening to the podcast, I'm gonna talk about more things. Again, I'm late with talking about the wedding because it's been over 1 year. Uh-oh. Wait. What happened here? Oh no, I'm already. I was like, what are you here? I'm like, no, I'm good. I just made it back to the corner, so we're good. I have to talk about my green card situation, which it started in an amazing way and then it went crazy. So I have to talk about that for sure. In the hope that I'm going to help other people who are in a similar situation. Oh, did I make it? Oh, I did. Okay, so the color changed a little, which I really like. So again, we're going to chain 1. Okay, let me see what is one saying. So this is round 3. Okay, so, they are saying that traditionally granny squares are mere 4 rounds long. However, some people like to make them 5 rounds. Um, so round four, basically that was round one, two, three. So we will do one more and then decide if we want our squares to be bigger. Considering that I'm planning to make a blanket out of it, so we'll see. So that means that once again we're gonna chain one. Wait, did I chain one already? Oh, I did. Chain one means chain one, don't chain two. So chain one, flip a row, put it in, go through, then one, two, three. Especially since I don't wanna, like, I can't make a blanket of these small kind of squares. That would take 5 million years, which I don't know that I can commit to 5 million years um, of this. Anyway, so um, I am going to continue with number four, and then I'm gonna see if I also want to do. Oh. Wait. See, that's what happens. So they seem to be wanting me to not do that, which means that we're gonna continue into this. Okay, coming back to the podcast. Yeah, I need to talk about the green card. I need to talk about my wedding. I have recently been yet again to another Stephen Colbert show. This time was the live Super Bowl show, so I have a lot of opinions about that too. Which, now that I think about it, I thought it's gonna be a complete different way, but I'm gonna keep it real. And so the podcast used to be once a week, and now it's every second week. And also, I have a friend who's helping me. So one week I'm alone, the other week I'm with her. And if you haven't listened to the podcast, we have an episode in which we talk about, I mean, obviously, those were the holidays, those were the times, but we talked about the holidays back in Romania and what traditions we had and what traditions we're still keeping and things like that. We are both from Romania, but from different parts of the country. So it was interesting to see and to read or to hear about our, you know, differences and things that match. But then we've also talked about her trip to Bali and her interest in yoga and meditation and staying at Nepal monasteries and all sorts of things like that friends usually share when they travel. But I have to say that it's very pleasant and much easier for me to have it only twice, like every second week. Even sometimes it's like I don't know what's the perfect thing, because when I have it once a week, I feel sometimes that I don't have enough to say. When I have it once in 2 weeks, I accumulate too many things to say. So what's the in between? I don't know. Uh, like that, and then a bonus episode in which I talk about other stuff. So the podcast is supposed to be for like traveling, but I have always been interested in discovering the world outside, but also the world within. So the main focus is to talk about travels outside, but also the inner journey. And because of that, I have talked about a lot of things that you don't necessarily listen to when you are interested in traveling. But I have also mentioned my experience as an immigrant, because before moving to Brooklyn in New York, I used to live in Iceland. So I have been an immigrant for many years, and basically, I have to check that as well. I haven't talked that much about my immigration. I have a few episodes, but not so many. I have yet to make an episode of the political situation in the United States because unfortunately I had to deal with some things, and it's so annoying because everything is taken by people like, yeah, it's just how it is, and I'm like, yeah, but it doesn't have to be like that. So it's hard for me to adjust to a system that makes no sense. That's what I'm trying to see. And for whoever is going, like, if you're thinking, if you don't like it, just go, just move out of the country. That's not what democracy means, in my opinion. I think you're allowed to. It's basically, if you would be in a relationship and they are abusive, would you say to somebody, if you don't like, I mean, yeah, technically you should probably leave. I don't know, maybe that was not the best example, but what I'm trying to say is that is your right as a person who pays taxes, which I am, to not be okay with everything that happens and to not just take shit for how it comes your way, or at least try to make a sense of it, even though it's very difficult to make sense of anything nowadays on a general level. I'm trying to keep my podcast not that much into the politics, but politics is in everything. So at the end of the day, as much as we don't want to think about it, everything that we do and the way that from the way that we spend money to the way that we spend our time is revolved around politics. So that's where I stand. Anyway, I just finished row number 4, and I think that this is not big enough, so I'm gonna do one more and then stop, and then also I guess it's gonna be around 1 hour. So the last one is one chain, flip a room, slip stitch, do 3, 1, 2, 3, and then do like this. And there we go, and then we have the darker color. And so like this, I guess I'm gonna have all of them colors, which is pretty cool. I'm not complaining. I really like it. They had a few more colors, so I'm excited to see what else is there. And I think they have this at Michael's too, because I feel like the yarn that I got for the flowers that for my wedding, they were on I think they were like 50 cents or something. I feel like they were really cheap. I got a deal or something. But the whole point is that even though they seem to be having different name, they are very clearly the same yarn. So as long as I keep in mind that it's medium 4 and 5.5 and it's 85% recycled cotton, that's basically I can find this anywhere. I would also. Did I switch? Did I turn the thing over? Probably. I don't know for a fact. So, yeah, that's what's happening right now. I don't even know. Let me see what happens here. There we go. I am happy that I got to see the dark colors too in this square. So, to be very honest with you, I might do a few more squares today. Not sure. But initially I said that I'm going to record, and then I said, how am I, if I want to do this every day, there's so much footage, and I'm trying to be more honest with what I'm going to do, other than just be, oh, I'm going to do this and that, and then, dopamine is gone, and then I'm like, nope, I'm not doing it. And I feel guilty that I'm not. So I'm just trying. I'm now in this moment when I'm okay. If I truly have ADHD, maybe I should just be more honest with myself and not commit to things that I'm looking back into the patterns. I'm not gonna be able to finish them. So I am happy that I chose this color. It's also I'm also very interested to see how many squares I can make out of a yarn, because that's gonna probably tell me quite a bit. So I think it's gonna be good to finish at 5. Because as I said, I'm also considering to make other models in the future, not to have quite the same thing. But I kind of want to make sense of it. So not very sure how I'm going to pull that one off. We'll see. For now, I'm excited that this is looking quite nice. And I don't know if I mentioned or if anybody's interested. It cost $2.49 plus tax. Don't get me started with the way that prices work in the United States. So yeah, almost 250. I mean 250. I don't think it's that bad. But when you buy plenty, and you are most likely going to, if you want to make a blanket, it's gonna add up. So price wise, it's not worth it. Like price wise, this is not worth it. But for the fact of being able to be like, yeah, I made that, then I guess it depends on what's important for you and what you can afford. But again, since I'm not buying this every day, so my plan is to buy some yarn once a month or once in 2 months. I think that's doable because that's like $15. I mean, if you go to Starbucks, which I don't, but I'm just saying, go to Starbucks and have a drink. If you buy 2 drinks, that's your 3 yards over here. No, huh? I don't know. I can't do math in my head. 250, 750. I don't know. That's a fancy drink. No. I tried to seem smart for like a whole second, and then I'm like, abort mission, abort mission. I can't do math in my head, so I don't know how to. I'm not able to. Okay, we're almost getting there, and I'm kind of happy with the size of the square. So I think that I'm going to stop there, but we're gonna decide for sure when I'm done with it, which is not gonna be much longer. I'm almost there. Yeah. I'm very curious. Do I really take 1 hour to make a square? Or it's just because of the recording and stuff like that? But it depends. Depends on what I'm doing at the same time, huh? Yeah, I guess. Even though usually I talk a lot, obviously, can you tell? But I'm also not talking in general when I crochet because I'm by myself. Unless my husband is with me, so then I talk. Okay, we're almost there. Last 3 double crochet, and then chain 2, then pull in, do a slip stitch. Yeah, I'm kind of happy with this square. It looks so cool, and even with tape. Let me see how it says to end when you end the project, and then that's gonna be it. So let me see. Okay, I guess that's it, and then that's it. I usually no. Oh, okay. I have another one. This one we can cover it. Okay. So I usually just do this, and it's done. And this is how it's looking. My first ever square from a future blanket that I'm going to make. Looks nice. Now I just have to sew this. Which should I do it? Let's go for it. What time is it? 49. I don't want to be more than 1 hour though. Okay, let me see if I have the. You know what? I'm not gonna do it now because I can't find. Oh, there you go. I find the needles, so we can just go really fast and then there are all sort of ways that you can do this. Since I know for a fact that I'm going to unite, like, combine with the other ones, I'm that how it's gonna look. Probably I'm gonna be more on the last one, but for now I can just do this really quick. So again, I think there are all sorts of ways, but I'm not that interested for this particular thing. So yeah, and come on, man, just do it. Just do it. Go for it. Don't be stressing about it. Okay, whatever. I'm not gonna do it now because I lost my patience. So anyway, this is how it looks like. The first square, I think, is looking pretty cool. And now the next one is gonna be with the blue, darker blue in the middle. So it's gonna be a whole interesting way of doing things. Thank you for joining me, or you didn't, or you watch later. And that was it for me. The first granny square for my future blanket.